Hey, howdy. Guess what? Beluga's back in town. We're doing more Tukey. It's really nice to be back, I gotta say. And I got a lot to talk about. Or, on paper, I have a lot to talk about. I have a funny feeling that it's very quickly going to devolve into... Hello? Hang on. We do a courtesy control enter. And hope that it doesn't lag on the reload. So I've been busy. I've been doing the YNO stuff, which, I mean, if y'all care about that, you probably saw it by now. But I made an Isaac mod. I thought it was pretty cool. Not sure how much work I'll put into it from this point forward, besides just like bug fixes. I do eventually want to make a tainted version, but like, I'm in no hurry. I want to see how people like the initial version first before I move forward. What is with the lag? That's annoying. Anyways, we got dailies, we got weeklies, and we got other stuff that we gotta do. There's a new game in YNO now. I'm getting ahead of myself. Start with the dailies, then do the weekly, then if we have time, I want to show off one other thing that is pretty amazing. The lag is kind of annoying, but there's not much I can really do about it. But yeah, I got to take a break, sort of. I mentioned this before, but it's nice to be back in a place where I have my own space and I can do whatever I want, as long as I also do my work for school. Because I had the very unique issue, or I generally have the very unique issue that at any given moment, I have 2 out of the 3 of the time to do things, to do all the things I want to do, a space to myself to do those things, and, I always forget an unending river comes off of this world. And the motivation to do it. It's like the motivation, space to myself, and no oodles of work that distract me from doing things that I want to do. Maybe distract is the wrong word, but take away from time that could be spent doing cooler things. Because, as it turns out, I need to be a productive member of society, at least to the best of my ability. But I bring fun stories. And the first story that comes to mind is, I think I mentioned it before, I think I mentioned it at one point. I played quite a bit of Gemcraft Chasing Shadows while I was at home. And oh my god, that game's kind of amazing. I've since added it to my list of games to play on the channel to just like, kind of just to screw around. It's like, I have a good enough understanding of the game that I could realistically kind of just coast. I could kind of just coast and enjoy myself. Shit, I forgot about that. I have to go to the filled heart, not the empty heart. But I really enjoyed it. That is such a fun game. And I got to the point where I had the potential to optimize it, but in optimizing it, I would have taken all the fun out without using external programs, and at that point, it's just not... It's kind of just not worth it. You're better off doing something that has less grind time and more enjoyment time if you're reaching a point when playing a game where it's best to install an external program to combine the gems for you, because otherwise it would take way too long to do it manually. Which, I mean, kind of a hilarious situation to be in. That if you play the game optimally, it will suck all of the fun out because you need to follow this massive recursive formula to get the best possible combinations. Next up is Emerald Cave. Oh, there is new stuff off of Drains Theater, if I saw correctly, so I might want to hit that while I'm over there. I don't know where this lag's coming from, but I hope it clears up. Yeah, there it is, Birch Forest. Birch Forest is one of the new things. I think I played a version before I went on break that had Birch Forest in it, but I think it's been expanded a little bit more. Drains Theater, on the other hand, is a different case. But what else even happened? I played a lot of Gemcraft, I did Isaac modding, TF2 happened. If you play TF2 semi-regularly, you know exactly what I'm talking about, but to the uninitiated, the item servers went down for a pretty extensive period of time. I think that the final count was somewhere between 2.5 to 3 days, I believe. And it was really funny, at least for me. I got a weird kind of schadenfreude out of it because not everyone in the TF2 community is like this, but there is just like that percentage of TF2 players, especially people who play only casual, who are just insufferable. So it was very funny to see those players completely panicking, like, oh god, where's my items? Valve, what did you do? The game is dying, game dead, game dead. And then everyone else being like, yeah, this is actually kind of funny. What if we just acted like it was 2007? And so we did, and it was I took part in some very fun lobbies, full of people acting like the year was 2007 or 2008, or at least their approximation of it. Not gonna say it was very accurate, but the sentiment was definitely there. I did my part. I posted a safe mode, one of the safe mode emojis from Roblox, and people recognized it and lost their minds. Because there are a lot of people who weren't even on the internet when safe mode was a thing in Roblox, or at least safe mode chat. But there used to be a functionality in Roblox ages and ages ago where instead of using proper text chat, there would be like a drop-down menu that you would use instead. And I distinctly remember one of the I can't even say emojis, one of the emoticons is Kirby dance. So it's like it's a little emoticon face and the hands go to the left and then to the right and then to the center like Kirby. There's two standout things that I remember about Roblox, and I know it's like comparing apples to iPhones at this point. It's so much more advanced than it used to be. But I remember pretty distinctly... Oh, this connects up with Birch Forest. I remember pretty distinctly the Kirby dance, survival maps, which is like, you know, like the 55 survival map. Sometimes they were themed, but it's like God, this place is this place is very ominous. Survival maps were in like the hamlet of Roblox games that people made a ton of. It was those. It was like the Roblox equivalent of Little Big Planet's bomb survival games. It's just like you go on multiplayer and half of the games would be bomb survival games, games where that are like basically amusement park rides where you get eaten by something. God, it's been so long. Obbies, there are a lot of obbies. There are still a lot of obbies to my understanding. There were a ton of obbies, there were a ton of tycoons. I hope there are still tycoons, because those were those were great. Long before the internet discovered their collective fascination with incremental and idle games, we had tycoons. I do miss them. And what else? That's about all I can think of, actually, but it was a different time, for sure. But it was really funny seeing the disconnect between people who actually grew up in 2007 and people that were acting like they grew up in 2007. Because the people who actually grew up in 2007 were dropping like some names and references that were really shocking to hear in the modern day. And then there were people that were just saying slurs because har har 2007. Isn't it so funny and quirky that it's now 2007 and we can say racial slurs? Tee-hee, look at me, Mom. But the ones that were actually from 2007 were very funny. I enjoyed, as weird as that situation was, I enjoyed it quite a bit. What else was there? Hang on, I'm like tabbing out every here and there to like poke through my Steam library and see if there are games that I played. So I'm forgetting a lot of things. Like I said, this might just evolve into awkward silence, but I'm trying my best. The only other game I really remember playing was YNO Dreams, which was baller. I think I mentioned it before, but YNO Dreams is a mix of Touhou, Vampire Survivors, Yumaniki, and Diablo. And I streamed my first playthrough, my first 2 play sessions of it, and then kind of just played a bunch of it off camera. And I can't really call it off camera anymore because I don't really intend to play again on camera unless people want it. Because I've made my peace with the game. I did everything I needed to do. I got a lot of the achievements. I got the true ending. I fought the secret, like there were like some secret bosses. I went and did those. I had my fun with it, and it was a lot of fun. I kind of wish they did more with the Yumaniki aspect of it, though, I'll be honest. I really like the idea of an adventure game that just goes full-on into that kind of concept of not only do you have access to a action game, but you, at any time, can pivot and go into, like, a deep, spooky, story-based area like that. The concept of that is fascinating to me. Do I have to go to Arc to Pillar? I do have to go to Arc to Pillar. And that game scratched the itch for me, kind of. I really liked the Yumaniki segments, I just wish there was more to them. Because the stuff that was there was really, really cool. But apart from that, I've kind of just been... I've been watching things get announced and get developed and seeing, like, things develop from the sidelines. Because I don't really use YouTube for... YouTube. I don't really use social media much at all. I've heard a few stories from the peripheral and from friends that were, like, kind of big, impactful stories. Like, the only one that springs directly to mind is MatPat stopping doing game theory videos and moving on to more multimedia projects, which has me pensive, but only interested on a surface level. If it's not the kind of game that I think it is, then it will probably be pretty good. But I fear that it's almost like a yick, like a super self-aware, we're gonna make a game that people are gonna theorize about. We're gonna make a game that people are gonna make, we're gonna make a game that will make people scratch their heads and wonder what on earth is going on? What's the bigger story here? If that's not done with grace, that is going to be a mess. And I'm kind of excited for it, frankly. In a weird, backwards kind of way. Again, very similar to Yick. I'm excited just to see the chaos. Speaking of Yick, 1.4 is coming. And that has me fucking terrified. Because, yes, indeed, Axe Studios is working on a massive update to the game that is going to completely I don't remember exactly what it's going to overhaul, because truth be told, I haven't been keeping up with it that much. I've heard mentions of it, and just from what I've seen, it seems like it's going to be a partial, if not complete, story rewrite and more changes to the combat. Also, welcome to hell. Industrial Maze, back at it again. How am I doing for time? 17 minutes, okay, I'm fine. But I'm just sitting there like, damn, I gotta get through Yick, and I gotta get through Yick fast, because if I don't finish it in time, and 1.4 comes out, people are going to ask me to do a second playthrough. And look, I was willing to give the game the benefit of the doubt at the beginning. Before I knew the game's full hand, before I knew all of the myriad of problems that it has, from a writing standpoint, from a game design standpoint, from an attitude standpoint, frankly. So much of that game is just... so much of that game and the way that it handles itself is the developers being salty that their previous games didn't sell like hotcakes. Self-awareness is fine, but there's always that, like, I felt such spite that it was genuinely kind of off-putting. And that spite also kind of... I don't know. The spite has me very intrigued to see what is going to happen to 1.4. Because these developers are very spiteful. The example that I think of is the Golden Alpaca. The original version of the Golden Alpaca was completely goofy and silly and came out of fucking nowhere with no build-up and completely ruined what was originally a pretty heartfelt moment between Vela and Rory. I kept calling him Corey. His name's Rory. But it completely dashed any hope of that scene being cool or heartfelt, because out of nowhere, Vela starts freaking out, and then an alpaca appears from off-screen and starts talking about lemonade, because this game is so cool and quirky. Well, when they did the rework, The first thing that the alpaca does when it comes on screen is it talks about how its mission is this scenario is something that children just don't understand. And it's so funny to me. Because yeah, congratulations, your game is really abrasive and opaque. That's how you designed it. I'd be nicer, but frankly, deal with it. I ran out of nice things to say about that game 10 episodes ago. I'm pretty sure I've recorded 9, but my point still stands. Okay, so we are at 21 minutes. Yeah, I have time for this. I'm going to go back to a giant desktop. I almost said T-Folk World, but I guess we're also going there. Because I want to make sure that a certain event has been seen in all of its glory. And it's not directly the event that you're thinking of. Because Giant Desktop, you go to Giant Desktop for one reason and one reason only, and that is Jumbo. But there's something else that I want to see that is just fantastic. But yeah, Yik happened, TF2 happened, is there... Oh, right, this. Right, the Steam Awards. That was something else. The Steam Awards were really funny. Because to those who didn't see it, the Steam Awards were, like, fairly predictable. Baldur's Gate won Game of the Year, Baldur's Gate won, I think it was either Best Story-Rich Game or Best RPG Game. I think it was Story-Rich. Lemon. And then, most innovative game. The ones that were kind of chafing were Best Soundtrack, Most Innovative Gameplay, and what was the other one? Most Outstanding Visual Style. We're all kind of chafing. Let's address the elephant in the room first. For Most Innovative Gameplay, the standout, at least in my opinion, was Yomi Hustle. Recently, my friends have gotten into that game, and I am very impressed, I gotta say. The game looks cool as hell, and it plays cool as hell, and the modding scene is ridiculous in a very good way. All around a very cool and interesting game, and genuinely very innovative. In a lot of ways, it is a competitive fighting game for people that normally don't like competitive fighting games. Because it's more thought out and more about watching the fireworks, kind of like hey Jimbo. Oh wait, I forgot you interacted with Jimbo to leave that. I got to talk to him again. Very like cool and innovative. Even if you don't normally like fighting games, it's a cool way to. That is an amazing screenshot. Oh my god, Sideways Jimbo. Where is... Hang on, let me just, like, walk to the end of the corridor and then turn back. There he is! Jimbo with sword and shield. Okay. So, the reason why I wanted to do that is let me actually wake up. I forget if that's gonna trigger vertigo. It's not. Okay. So if I select the wallpapers, the lag is quite annoying, because I can't see where I'm going. But they added a bunch of new wallpapers for the first time in so long, too. Oh, I have one of the Yunari ones. The Yunari ones are all really, really cute, as is Yunari's style. I gotta get the Oni. There's one of Oni Musume that is really cute that I gotta get at some point. But hey, more incentive for me to do wallpaper hunting. There is also this, which I think this is the greatest wallpaper I've ever seen. Full stop. It's incredible. Hakoko, you have served me well. You are really cute. But this is the definitive Yume Tuki wallpaper. I'm sorry. Okay. Still got a little bit of time left. Broken City, that's... This is Constellation World, I think. Let me check. Oh, it definitely is. But to address the elephant in the room, and to get back into my sort of negativity grind that's been going on today, Yomi Hustle lost to Starfield. As in Bethesda's newest game and newest laughingstock that was woefully mediocre. Beat Yomi Hustle at the Steam Awards. And it made some people really mad. I didn't get too horribly chafed at it, but I think that like, come on. Really? Okay, now where the heck is this thing? Oh, there you are. The second thing was that, two of them involve Pizza Tower. To my memory, it wasn't even nominated for Best Visual Style, which was genuinely shocking to me. But more than that, and more frustrating than that, it was nominated for Best Soundtrack. And it lost to The Last of Us Remastered. Now, I'm not going to pretend that The Last of Us has a bad soundtrack. But really? First off, I kind of feel like remakes should be excluded from the Steam Awards, full stop. But regardless of that, unless I'm missing something, I'm pretty sure a lot of that music was just from The Last of Us 1. Like, there was, I'm sure there was some new composition, but there wasn't a lot of it. You match that up against Pizza Tower, and that's what wins? I don't know. It's a user poll. It's a popular poll. I'm sure a lot of people just picked the game that they thought was the best in every selection, and not as many people played Pizza Tower as did The Last of Us. I will admit to that. Oh, that was another one that was also really, really funny and kind of chafing, was that Deep Rock Galactic lost the best ongoing game to Red Dead Redemption 2. Which was also really, like, come on. That was a bit much. But yeah, my spiel's done. I'm done looking at worlds for today. That was almost exactly 30 minutes, huh? Awesome. That's all I got for now. I'm probably not going to record Yik tonight because I want to preserve my voice, but tomorrow, after classes, I probably will. We will get back on that Yik grind. I'll be finishing that game if it kills me. But that's all I got for now. Thanks so much for watching.